What were some ups and downs pursuing art?
The ups and downs about pursuing art is that there's a lot of different roads you can take, right? So like the up is that there's so many different roads you can take as a professional artist, right? The down is that none of them are really advertised and that it's very difficult to break into each role, right? So like, I hate to say this, but a lot of artistic jobs, a lot of creative jobs in general tend to function very, for lack of a better word, incestuously, to where they tend to only hire people who are already in the field. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'll hear a lot of the time that the only thing that matters is your portfolio, which is true to a certain degree, because some places won't even look at the portfolio if the resume doesn't already have previous work experience. And so what you have to do is you have to find like a very, very small like company or studio to get your bearings. So that way you get that experience. So that way they actually look at the portfolio, right? You could be the greatest person in the world and you could have no work experience, and half of these companies or like half of like clients won't look at the portfolio once they see your CV doesn't have anything on it, which is honestly, it makes sense, but it's still very dumb because it makes it more difficult to like actually get into the thing. But the good news about that is that when you get inside, like once you've broken your foot, got your foot in the door, there's a lot of different paths you can take. You could be like a content creator. You could be a Twitch streamer. You could do actual client work and just live off of commissions. You could be an industry artist. You could be a production artist. I have a friend of mine who is currently a toy production artist. He's the senior, I do believe he's a senior artist and lead artist for Animal Adventure Kids. And he makes stuffed animals. Like his drawings and illustrations that he does, he gives them the schematics for it. They send it off to their manufacturer and he makes them, and then they get it sold. Half of his stuff is all sold to Target. Yeah, so there's just a bunch of different roads you can take. Those are the ups and downs. And
then like just how are you number one like supporting yourself? And then like what was the feeling like when you would do art and it was like it's not looking good? You feel me? Like when you was in school, I don't know if you was in school, but like. Yeah, when you was in school and you was doing art and it wasn't looking like, you feel me? Like, how was that feeling?
So, like, this is something, well, firstly, for supporting myself, it's just based off commissions and then, like, clientele work. So it's like, hey, is someone hiring? Does someone need design for X, Y, and Z?
No, but, like, while you was going to, like, college, though, like, while you was doing your schoolwork and stuff, like were you working a side job? Like, what was
Yeah, I worked at Papa John's when I was in college. And I just did that on the weekends, but I didn't really have a lot of time to do it any other, I guess, because the art major is, believe it or not, it's actually it's low. It's very intense, especially during the senior year. I remember, I think my last 2 months, I was getting like an hour of sleep, like it was really bad, and that was mostly because I was pushing myself to do something because that they had never seen before. So you have a senior project, as most majors do, but ours is that we basically have to create a gallery of work, right? And mine was, I decided I wanted to make like a whole animation, fully produced, voice acted, cap cut, all of that.
You did it all yourself?
Basically, I hired, the only people I had to help me, I didn't even hire them, I can't say hired, I asked them and they volunteered to help me, was I had a composer who came up with the score for the entire animation, and I had a voice actor. And that's about it. But I wrote it, I produced it, I stitched it together, all of that. It's on YouTube. You can find it. I'll give you the link at some other time. But
put that in there, yeah.
But that was incredibly difficult because they check in on you every 2 weeks, and so you need to have something made every 2 weeks. But because of what I was doing, the nature of what it was, I didn't get to really get the ball rolling until like the last month. And at that point, I had to get critique like every 3 days, and so I was remaking things constantly. One day before critique, I didn't even sleep. Actually, not even one day. It was like multiple days before critique, I didn't sleep. I was up throughout the night animating and getting things together because I couldn't afford to work slowly because they had to see progress and change, or else I was not going to graduate.
Man, I feel sick.
But
that's a lot.
Yeah, the feeling about like making art, right, and not feeling good, that's just something we always like feel just as artists. Ask any artist, they'll make something, and like 2 minutes later they'll hate it. That's just how it is. And the best way I can explain this is I was reading a book by I'm forgetting his name. He's one of the greatest alla prima painters of all time. But he states that the act of doing art, of painting, right, of drawing is equivalent to a rabbit chasing a carrot on a treadmill, right? You will always, like, your eye will always improve at a faster rate than your body does, because the more you learn, the more you know, but that doesn't mean you know how to implement it, right? So you can always spot what it is that you know, what you want to do, but your hands don't know how to implement it. What your hand and your brain are on two separate pages consistently as an artist, and that's always going to be the case, because the better your hands get, the better your eyes get. And the better your eyes get, the better your hands get, right? So you're always on two separate pages, and you're always going to be able to overanalyze your work and see things that most people won't, but it'll always make it look bad to you.
So then, because the reason why I asked the previous question was because, a lot of people, they want to go to school. So when you was in college, like, was your parents still here?
For a year, yeah.
For a year, okay. So when a lot of people go to college, like, they want to go out of state, right? And it's like, bro, like, you gotta support yourself. You feel me? Because it's like, one, you gotta eat, and number two, well, that's the biggest thing. One, you gotta eat, but then it's also good to kind of have people like rely on things in case things happen. So then, like, they'll go to wherever because it's like they dream school, or they want to get out the crib or whatever, and then it's like they gotta come back. You feel me? So like, what was it like? What was that like? Like, if they was only here for a year, that means you was on your own for like what, 3?
Yeah.
So then, like, you feel me? Like,
I just kind of got used to it. Like after sophomore year, I just started. I have Mike's down here.
No, you good.
I got used to it. I have a great friend of mine. I've known him since high school. He was the first friend I made up here. His name is Quest. After like sophomore year, he moved out and he got his own like townhouse with like 3 or 4 other people, and I just asked him if I could move in, and I helped out with rent, and that's what I did every single summer. Instead of constantly going back and forth, I just moved into the house and moved back onto campus as the years went by. Yeah, man,
that's what's up, bro. That's very good. So then, like, I mean, I guess you kind of answered like a little bit. So like, what was college like, man? What was college like for you? Like navigating, figuring out how to do your FAFSA, all that stuff. Like, what was it like?
College was a wake-up call, I guess. I said, personality.
Before you answer that, like,
yeah,
what made you think? Because some people do the art on the side too.
Yeah.
So like, what made you say, all right, I got to go to college to do art instead of just,
Well, the reason I chose to do art, right, was I actually have a pretty strong opinion about this. So just disclaimer, I don't think anyone needs to go to college to do art, right? Especially in like today's day. I think you can learn everything, and I do mean like everything about how to be a professional artist and about craftsmanship online, whether that be on YouTube, on forums, or you can order books to do it. I don't think anyone needs to go. I did it because I knew for a fact that going through with engineering, which is what I was doing at the time because I wanted to be like Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I was like, let me get a degree that was safe, right? I wouldn't be able to like stick with it. Like, if we're talking general knowledge of stuff, right? Like, I'm very good at it. But when you get to college, you start to realize they really hyper specify. And after the first year, I was like, I could see where this is going. And I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to like retain enough of an attention or retain enough interest in this to actually care, or to actually like graduate, right? Or to graduate happily. Like, it would be miserable, and college would have been like 8 times more difficult because it would basically be me sludging myself through mud trying to achieve something that I knew for a fact I was not going to pursue. So what I told myself was like, I needed to do something to where I actually cared about it. And of course, in every major, you have things you don't care about, right? But I need to do something that I actually cared about. And if it's going to be art, then I understand the repercussions that comes with getting that quote unquote art degree. But you also learn that the whole idea of artists don't make any money is a stupid idea, considering that we literally design 99% of everything you see. like if I'm going like among the terms of artists in general, that includes production artists, that includes architects, that includes TV show cinematographers. Like, we design most of that right now. If we're talking on the spectrum of just, oh, you draw and paint, well, now we're talking about fine artists, now we're talking about gallery artists, now we're talking about cartoonists, now we're talking about video game artists, we're talking about VFX artists. So all of these things that you think don't have jobs available is very, very dumb. Even your phone, every app that you see, who you think designed the thing you're looking at, who designed the interface for how Instagram works, like the layout, everything you see, that's us. I have actually done like UX, UI design, and like that. It's a very important job, because you being able to navigate an app is very important, and it needs to be pleasing to the eye. So the idea that artists, there's no job, doesn't make any money, stuff like that, it's a stupid idea that's outdated that I think scares more people away from pursuing it. I learned that, but I also, before I even learned that, I told myself basically that I understand the repercussion that comes with getting the degree, right? So what I needed to do was I needed to be so good at what it is I did that it would be detrimental to companies and clients to not hire me. So that became my mindset, and that became what drove me to study so much. It was get so good that it's a stupid choice on their end to not hire you.
I like the confidence then. So then I guess into the next one, like what was college like?
It was fun. I mean, I wasn't like I was never really someone who liked to like go out and party, so I didn't experience the party side of college. Most of my time I spent like indoors reading, or at the gym. That was my basic schedule. But college was entertaining. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say.
You went to Nadu? Yeah, you went to.
Yeah, I went to NDSU. Yeah.
Nadu, okay, smooth. So then, like, what would you do differently, like, if you did it again? Is there anything?
If I did, like, college again,
just
or all of this again,
college life.
If I did all of this again, I would have. I would have not gone to NDSU, but that's not because like I didn't like the school. I did like the school, but it's because if I had just done a little bit more research, because senior year we all graduate, right? And I didn't know what it is I wanted to do, so I was just like, okay, I'll just go to NDSU, right? But if I had done a little bit more research, I could have maybe taken like a year to two off, studied, and then applied to like legitimate concept design schools for production, because it would have made the roadmap that I wanted to achieve so much easier. I still got here, but it took so much more effort in comparison to if I had just took a year or two, studied, got a portfolio for an official art school. And I mean like maybe like one of my dream schools was I keep forgetting the name. New Edge 3D Concept Academy. If I had like taken the time to produce a portfolio for that and then reapplied and gone there, I think I would have had a much easier time getting to where I am now. Yeah,
that's I like that. So then, I don't know. So like, how did you get to the? I don't know if you also answered this a little bit. Like, how did you get to the bag as an artist? Like, how do you know? Yeah.
So it's actually largely thanks to the other people I had around me who advertised my work for me as well. One of the biggest people who advertised my work for me was actually NDSU itself, because I kind of became one of the star, I guess, children of the art department. So just like a brief rundown. NDSU was by no means an art school. It was always an engineering and architecture place, right? Now I think we are. It was always, what are they, Moorhead? What's the...
MSUM?
Yeah, it was always MSUM. That was the art place, right? That's what they were known for. Not anymore. We've taken that title from them. And that's largely in part to the graduate, like my graduating class and like a few before it. So my graduating class, I'm going to brag about them for a little bit, but my graduating class is incredible. We had, I'm not going to drop any of the names, I don't know, but we had 3 incredibly good illustrators, an insane graphic designer. We have 4 incredible painters. We pumped out a lot of people that were very, very good at what they did. And like, when I say very good, I don't use the word lightly. because I have a tendency to look at art and be like, I can do that, therefore I don't think it's that good, right? You know what I mean? Like, I know it's good, but in my head as an artist, I'm constantly breaking things down. The things I consider really, really good are things that, to me, make me ask myself how they achieved it. And almost everyone in that graduating class made me ask myself how. And I pride myself on being able to reverse engineer the art, like most art that I look at, and being able to emulate it. So it's largely thanks to that class, as well as a new incoming professor who wanted to make the school into an art school. And through Eric Sievertson, great professor. He's the new art education professor. But when he came in, the program really started to shift because him working with that batch of students really changed it. And now we have students not just coming from like all over the state of North Dakota, but outside of North Dakota, just to see our art program now. Like, we are becoming the art school. And I like to see it too, because I graduated from there.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. So then, like, what's it like being like a person of color in the art field? What's it? So this is why I say this.
Yeah.
So, Black Panther, right? Killmonger, you feel me? You got that side dread, you feel me? And now it's like everybody got that side dread.
Everyone does, yeah.
It's like, I don't like the side dread. You feel me? So like, it seems like off of that, it seems like there's not that many people of color doing art. You feel me? I don't know. Like, that's not the only hairstyle. So
I think there does need to be more of us, but I have mixed feelings about this question, because this is how I've always looked at it. People will see me, right, and hear that I'm an artist, and they'll be like, oh, like, then you must, like, I don't know how to bridge into this. Okay, here's the precursor. A lot of people will assume that all artists need to identify with their work that they make all the time, right, and always advocate for something in their work. And to a certain extent, yes, right, because as artists we tend to, like, hold ourselves dear to what we are. But there's a certain portion of artists out there, and most of us are production artists, who aren't necessarily attached to what we make, right? We make it because we're trying to get an idea out there, not because we care about advocating for something. You get what I'm saying? But the idea that a lot of people the idea that as an artist I am therefore attaching myself to everything that I make, and that that everything I make is advocating for something, and that everything I make should be advocating for something, is something that's always pressed me, because being someone who is, black, who's African American, they always tend to look and be like, why is it that your work doesn't depict more of the African American, lifestyle, or like of what it's like being a young black man inside, America? And I'm just like, that, because it's not what I care about, for lack of a better word. Like, it's not like I don't care about it, but it's not what my work is about. Right. And that happened to me, actually. There was it's happened multiple times, but the part, like, a specific event that happened this was my senior year, and I was getting critique, and this was for the animation I'm making. Now, the animation I'm making, right, as a production artist, I based it off of Viking mythology, right? Or I guess Norse mythology, Viking history, right? So I did a lot of research on Vikings, how they operated, and I based it off of that. And I got a critique from another artist who was a professor at a different university. He came in, he was a guest speaker at NDSU, but he was a Nigerian artist, and he looked and he stated that, like, my work that I was making wasn't relevant because it did not connect to who I was or where I was coming from. So what was the point in me making it? And that was one thing that really pressed me, because I don't think just because I am African American, it doesn't mean everything I make needs to revolve around of African American descent or African American problems. Yeah, I just have like a mixed bag, because I understand where people are coming from with it, because you have a responsibility as someone who,
but that's factual,
can show this.
That's factual.
But also, it's not my obligation to.
No, I definitely get your point, because it's like, at the end of the day, it's like you just want to make stuff,
Yeah. I want to make things that I am interested in. And if it pertains to, you know, the struggles that we go through, then that's what I'm interested in. A lot of the stuff that I even make that I don't post, like all of that's about men's rights, like not even African American stuff. Like people don't know this, but I do advocate a lot for men's mental health because I think it's something that's overshadowed. Like women get all of the attention, which is good because they need it, but also on the opposite side of that, there's also men that are struggling as well, like younger men who go through a lot of stuff, but they're told that, you know, they're told that they should just handle it. And so a lot of the work that I make, the advocates for that, like, doesn't get seen. But everyone wants me to advocate for African American problems. And I'm just like, I get it. There's issues here, but there's also issues that I care about and would like to, you know, express more.
Right. No, I mess with that, bro. So then, like, did it kind of hurt your grade in a way? Like that?
No, it didn't hurt my grade at all.
Okay.
The critique is, they don't grade you off that critique. They don't grade you off of any of the visiting artists' critique. They force you to do it because they always want you to have conversation with another artist. Even artists who aren't even in your medium. Like that, the guy who told me that he was a ceramicist. So I didn't really take it to heart. It upset me, but I was like, he also doesn't, like, I'm animating. Right. He's a ceramicist. So it's like, we're in two different ballparks.
Man, so then what does, like, what would you tell an aspiring artist?
To study. Like, I mean, yes, have fun with what you do, right? Have a lot of fun, but studying is also, it's always going to be important because that is how you actually improve. Like, you could just make stuff, right? And that's fine, but unless you're targeting something, you're not going to improve at the rate at which you could if you were to actually target that thing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you could solve a bunch of math problems, or you could do, you know, specific, like specific multiplication problems. Like, if you want to get better at multiplication, do multiplication problems. Don't go doing, like, algebraic equations and say, okay, I'm trying to get better at multiplication, but then give yourself 20 different algebra equations. Like, it's like, isolate it. Spend like 5 minutes of your day, isolate that one thing you want to get better at. Do that for a little bit, and then go make whatever it is you want to make. Doing that it'll make you so much better than 90% of the artists inside of the world, and that's just true.
Is this something you think you could have done if you didn't have, like, a support system that, like, supported you know?
Do I think I could have improved as I did, or do I think I could have done art? Because I think I could have improved at the same rate. Actually, no, let me take that back. I don't think I'd improve at the same rate because I wouldn't have much time. So, like, when it comes to support systems, I actually say, no, I do think you need a lot more time, and you need to be willing to sacrifice that. Like, I sacrificed time too, but I also, like, I wasn't paying full rent because I lived with, like, 4 other people, right? You see what I'm saying? Right. Like, I wasn't paying rent because I was with my parents, right? I was on campus. So there are things that allow me to have more time to dedicate to studying. So, no, to answer your question.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And I ask that because it's like, some people, like, you know, I do it by myself, all that stuff, but it's like, even the air you breathe isn't yours. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, is it really? Like,
there was, I was staying with my aunt up here for a little bit too. Like, I wasn't always on campus. I was staying with my aunt up here, and she housed me during that time. This is right before she moved, but yeah, like, if I had to live by myself and pay rent, I wouldn't have had as much time to just dedicate to, you know, studying.
Man. So then, like, what does, like, the future look like? What does the end goal look like? Like, what do you?
So my end goal originally was just to be a concept artist, right, in the entertainment industry, and it's like, I've done that. So it's kind of, the goalpost has moved to where I want to own my own studio, but like not like artistic studio. Like, I want to own my own animation studio and game dev studio, and that's something I'm putting together currently. I've found a team of artists that I like, as well as some programmers and musicians, and we've put them together, and we're currently working on our first project. We're giving ourselves 3 to 4 months to develop basically a full sprite-based video game. We have the project already going on. One of our meetings today, actually, so that's good. But yeah, I'm acting as the art director, which is something that I never thought I'd be doing. I always thought myself as more as like more as like for lack of a better word, like a cog in the machine. I was like, let the art director tell me what it is I want to do. I just want to draw. But now it's like, especially after making that full animation, being every single role, I learned that being an art director suits me a lot better, considering that I love the research portion. And although I can do everything, I would also love to continue to explore and then help other people, improve. So being an art director allows me to do all of that.
Bro, smooth. Okay, no, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Man, is there like anything else like you feel like the audience will want to know, or that's most of the questions I got? But yeah, is there anything else you feel like?
I mean, I don't.
Is there anything we're supposed to like look out for? Like you want to like?
I want. If this interview had happened maybe like 3 months later, I'd say look out for the game. But
no. I mean, I'd say yeah.
I can't really say much about the game. We're still ironing out. Like
Okay.
we're 3 meetings into the game.
Okay.
Well, technically I'm 6 meetings in because I have to meet with my individual artist.
Okay.
But yeah, we're like the team itself is like 3 meetings into the game. So.
Okay. I guess like where can we find like your art, some of the stuff you've done?
So I have actually been trying to take it upon myself to not even take it upon myself. My roommate's been trying to get me to stream a lot more, and he's right. We have a schedule, and I'm going to stick to it. I stream on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Is there any other day I stream? Saturday and Saturday.
Okay.
And it's
like, what kind of games do you like to play?
I'm not even streaming games. I'm just streaming art. I stream the creation process for a lot of things. So if you want to see how it's done, get some information, or just sit and chill with me, yeah, you can pop on by from 6 to 8 on Monday, and then 8 to 10 on the others.
Okay.
And then
is it like on Discord or?
No, it's just on Twitch.
Oh, okay. Twitch.
Yeah. I mean, everything I stream on Twitch, most of it goes up on YouTube.
Okay.
And that's where you can watch the full animation too. The
Okay.
YouTube channel is just my name, Fred Gay Wremmo.
Okay.
FredGaye Wremmo.
Okay.
Aside from that, you can find most of my work on Instagram. I post all my updates and stuff on there. I'm very active on Instagram.
Okay, smooth. So then, yeah, I'll try to get that link from you and I'll throw it in here.
Bet.
So yeah, that's pretty much the interview. I'd say shout out my boy. I got a boy out there that wants to be an artist, but I don't be saying names either, but he knows who he is. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of a hater. I was like, hey, bro. You feel me? But that's why I was like, let me sit down and talk to you. Because, like, and he a big fan of you, too.
Oh, for real?
So it's like, yeah, he a big fan of your stuff. So it's like, when you see this, like, he's like, yeah. But, yeah, bro. Hey, appreciate you, bro.
Hey, no problem.
Appreciate you.